Hi guys, so today, this morning, I've been just cleaning up my craft room. There was just too many things on the floor and boxes that I was almost done arranging everything, and I just didn't get quite to it this last month. So now that we're here, we're home, we're staying safe at home, and I hope you guys are too. I'm cleaning up, but I was also going through a bunch of my old videos from my old channel. Now, some of the videos are kind of rough because just, you know, the filming wasn't quite there yet, or they were really early, so like, it just wasn't what I normally do with my editing and stuff. But I came across a few videos that I really liked and I think still would work for people. So the one I'm going to show you guys right now, I re-edited it. It's going to come right after I do this little intro here. I mean, it was done, I can't even remember how many years ago, maybe 7 years ago probably, because I think I was still in Monterey. And since we've been from Fresno to Monterey to Georgia to Poway to San Marcos, now I live here in San Diego. And then in between there, I always, you know, stayed at my mom's house in between all those military moves. So yeah, in 7 years, can you believe that? But anyway, I digress. The video coming up is going to show you how to use one file folder to make an organizer. Now, these are things that people have done. Sorry about that. So, super old video, or kind of type of tutorial. What I'm going to show you here was from a kit that I had bought, Crazy Creations, maybe is the brand name. I don't remember, but it was from a Scrapbook Expo. But after I did this one, people had really asked about making your own with, you know, things you might just pick up at the store. So I'm hoping you guys have these things at home because I wouldn't want to go to the store just to get these things, especially right now. So, you know, just a file folder, maybe a notepad, whatever paper clips you might have, and all those little dies that we have from every company that we buy dies from now with all the little flowers and things like that. You can make your own little embellishments for your file folder. So hopefully you guys will still get some good information from this. And then in a few days, I will post the one that I made from scratch with just file folders I had picked up at the Dollar Tree and things like that. And of course, I might say things in there that don't have anything to do with nowadays, because I mean, that's kind of old. But I think the information still pertains that to something you can make right now, all right? The information is still useful. So I hope you guys are doing well. And well, let's see how to make a organizer from one file folder. Okay, hi ladies. So today I'll be starting a quick project that I actually bought. So it's not my idea, it's not anything I came up with, but there are lots of videos out on YouTube, I think, on this kind of thing, because I've done some file folder stuff. But this is by Crazy Creations, and they're a little company, and usually I see them at the Scrapbook Expos. I haven't really gone online to buy any of their products, but they are at crazycreationsstudio.com and K, okay, for the Crazy Creations part. Super cute. I bought this for, you know, 10 bucks at the last Scrapbook Expo I went to. Let me see if I can get a good close-up of this. It's basically an organizer. It says made with one file folder. And it ends up looking like this, okay? And then inside you're gonna have this pad and then a little place for the notes. And what's funny is that I've seen a lot of these things at Target, so I'm pretty sure that's where they got them when Target had these cute notepads with butterflies, because I bought some already. And then the file folder is just this really decorative, pretty file folder. And what I think is funny about that is that I went and picked some up that are very similar at Tuesday Morning. They had these file folders, and they're expensive. I mean, well, to me they were expensive. They're $7 for 10 file folders, so you know, they're like 70 cents each, so but they're really pretty, so I think they'll work really well for this project. But this is for another time. I'm gonna actually use what the kit came with. So it's gonna be an organizer, like I said. It says it comes with one decorative file folder, assorted sticky notes, 2 oversized paper clips, detailed instructions, a writing tablet, an ink pen, and all the embellishments that are shown, okay? So I'm gonna open this up, because it's gonna make a lot of noise, and then we'll get started. There's a nice Pentel RSVP pen. Good quality pen. It has the little post-it notes or little notes, and these are mounted on like a little kind of a card, a little sturdier, so if you were to make your own, if you don't have this one's on like a piece of chipboard, okay? And then they already have these items punched, and they're basically, you're gonna make these little flower paper clips, really cute. And then it comes with the 2 smaller note tab things, I forgot what they're called, little sticky tabs. And then there's tulle and Velcro and lots of other things, and these huge paper clips, okay? And then here's the file folder, the notepad, and it's by Ampad, and it's their gold fiber pad, so it's a very nice, high quality feeling pad. It feels really, really pretty, really nice. And then you have your file folder, and this one's gorgeous, and it's already been cut. And I was gonna say, I think they punched those flowers from this, and they sure did. So that's what I'm saying, it's a very small company, you know, they do things on their own. So basically it was a file folder just like that, and they cut, let me see, they cut 3.5 inches off. So this is 3.5 inches. So now you have this piece here, and they punched the circles and the flowers from that. Okay, and then they, you know, wherever it would be decorative, so you end up getting like a butterfly or something out of it. So they did a few of those. I'm not sure what this piece of paper here is for. And then there's another scrap of scrapbooking paper that's 6 by 2. Okay, so it's 6 by 2 inches. Okay, I'm not sure what this is for, but I'm sure it's going to tell me there in the instructions. And the instructions are printed on some really nice cardstock. They're a great little company. I mean, they're so really nice ladies. The people I've met are awesome. So it tells you here to do your scoring. And so what I'm going to do is bring out my scoring tool, and we'll do that part, and then we'll continue from there. So depending on how big your file folder is, you might have to fudge the numbers a little bit. So I'm going to tell you for this file folder, I mean, it's 11.5 by 9, and then you have the tab sticking out. So it's an 11.5 by 9 inch folder, and then this tab is sticking out on the edge here, so I'm not paying attention to that for right now. It says here to open the folder, and I already told you they cut off 3 and 3/8 inches off this side here. Open your folder and score a line from top to bottom with a scoring tool, 1/2 inch to the left of the original score line. So this is the original score line. I'm going to put it somewhere where I can actually make a good 1/2 inch mark. I don't want it to be crooked. Okay, so 1/2 inch from the left. So I'm going to, there's a 1/4 inch here, goes half. And I can't find the actual scoring tool that came with this Martha Stewart scoring board, which is really bad. So I'm using the one from my Score Pal, and hopefully we get it nice and straight. Okay, so there it is. I'm just gonna go over it a couple times because it's really thick. So there's the scoring line that I made there, and then it says that all the flowers and circles and scallops have been punched from the piece that was cut away, which I showed you. Cut a 1/2 inch strip from top to bottom, ignoring the tab sticking out on the right side here. So I'm going to cut off 1/2 inch, ignoring the tab. So on the tab part, it's going to be like more like an inch, but I'm going to cut off 1/2 inch. So let me grab my cutting tool, and I'll do 1/2 inch. Since this folder is 9 inches wide, cut off 1/2 inch off of the right side. I have to measure this up to 8.5, and just cut off that piece. And this piece you're going to use to reinforce your album, so do not throw this away. We're going to keep this. And I think that's all I have to do with that. So I'm going to put this to the side. Okay, from the right side, your right edge, we're going to score 3 inches in and 3.5 inches in. So this is lined up at 8.5, so right here at 5.5 is our 3 inch mark. And I'm trying to do this straight because, like I said, I don't have the tool that came with this, so that tool is a lot sharper than this Score Pal tool. That's okay. So there's that one, and then at 3.5, so at 5. So 5.5 and 5, basically from the right side, is what I'm scoring. Okay. And cut with scissors from the vertical score line. Score line 3.5 inches up to the horizontal score line at 3 inches. Oh, then I need to do this other one. Score line in the bottom from left side to the first score line at 3.5 inches. Okay, so we just scored the right side for at 3 inches and 3.5 inches. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is turn our folder so that the bottom left corner is butted up into the corner here, and we're gonna score at 3 inches just up until the 3.5 inch score line. Okay, and it's out of frame, but we scored at 3 inches at 3.5 inches on the right side. So I'm going to score from 3 inches at the bottom left all the way up to the 3.5 inch score line. Okay, so it'll look something like this. Let me see if I can back out a little bit. I know it's showing too much there. So it's hard to see, but I have my 3 inch score line, 3.5 inch score line, and at the bottom, 3 inches up from the bottom, I have a score line running just up until the 3.5 inch score line. Okay, just right there. And I'm not going to score anymore, just there. Okay, and now what I'm supposed to do with the scissors is cut from the vertical score line at 3.5 inches up to the horizontal score line at 3 inches. Okay, so let me get my scissors. I don't really like doing stuff like this with scissors. I'd rather do it with something else, but that's okay. And so what we're going to do is cut up that 3.5 inch score line up to where I folded. I scored the 3 inch score line right there. And then I'm going to cut this right off right here, okay? And I'm going to do that probably out of frame because I need it to be close to me so I can see what I'm doing. I'm not sure why they didn't just say to score the whole way across and then cut it, but that's okay. Okay, so now we have this notch cut out right here in this bottom area. And then it says, then fold the bottom of the folder up on inside and tape as shown. So I'm just going to fold this up on the score line and just give it a nice scoring. Now, if you want, and we're going to tape this, but before you do that, what you can do is take this part of your, that we had cut off, this part of the tab here, and just straighten it out because it has that little piece kind of sticking out there. And what you're going to do is adhere it to this side, okay? And I'm going to trim off this edge, this part of the tab here. Just straight. Hopefully I do this straight. Okay, so I cut the tab off. And I'm going to adhere this right now with some glue, and then I'm going to show you, we're going to trim off that edge and then corner around the edge of the glass, because I like the way that works. And I'm going to put some glue all along this edge, all the way as far as I think that goes. And I really want, if you want to use ATG, that'd probably be perfect, because this doesn't really do much more than just kind of give it some reinforcement. But I'm going to apply it all along the edge, and I'm going to add that piece right here, right along the edge, not sticking over or anything like that, because it's just reinforcing that edge here. Okay, and I'm going to let that dry, and when we come back, I'll show you how to trim that edge off and then corner around it, okay? So that's the far right edge of our file folder, because that should be good. So this little piece that's sticking out, I'm just going to cut it off. I'm going to look from the back side to the front. Just trim that off, okay? And then I'm going to come in with my corner chomper. If you have whatever thing corner rounder you use, I'm going to use the 1/2 inch side, the 1/2 inch side, just to make a bigger corner round. And you see it's already rounded down here, but there's a little piece from the back side that needs to be rounded off. So I'm going to come in and chomp that. Now I have a nice rounded edge. And I'm going to round all the corners. Okay, so I'm going to do this one too. It's very hard for me to do this on camera, so I'm going to hold it over here. So now you have this nice rounded edge with this gorgeous lining, and you're going to round all the edges. And so we're going to do this top edge over here, and this very bottom side edge, okay? Now you can do it before or after you glue it. I'm going to do it right now. I probably should have done it after you glue, but that's okay. So there's that. Now I'm going to hold this way because I want you guys to be able to see it and have it in camera, what you need to do as far as gluing down this flap, and then that's going to be the basic construction of the file folder itself, and then we'll go into embellishing, okay? And, you know, putting it together. So what you're going to do is get some red tape or that white kind you can tear. I forget what it's called. I always forget what it's called. I'm sorry. But anyhow, so you're going to take like 3-inch strips, because this is 3 inches right here, this flap. But basically you're going to put one right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay it down over here on this side. It shows it to be, yeah, that's the easiest way to do it. So I'm just going to stick this down right here. And this is what I'm saying, we probably should have stuck it down first and then corner chomp. That way you would have it glued all the way down to the bottom, but that's okay. So I'm going to put that there. Okay, so the little strip here. This is the 1/4 inch. You can probably use the 1/2 inch one, whatever you like. I like the 1/4 inch one better. And then I'm going to place it right in the middle here. And this one's going to take 2 strips. Okay, so I'm going to do this one. Cut it off. Another little piece right next to it. Not really overlapping, just next to it. I'll glue that down or stick that down better in a minute. And then one more strip right up here. And not for nothing, these people, their instructions aren't that great. I had to really read it over and read it over and read it over, and you don't know how many times I filmed and cut off because it wasn't quite right. So anyway. there's that. But they have really cute things. I should show you this other. If I have time, I'll bring that out. But anyway, so we're just gonna push these down and adhere and make sure they're nice and stuck down, and then we're gonna take the little backing off. So this one's very at the corner. This one's in that middle of the little space that you scored. So there's a 1/2 inch score mark in there. So that's where those are. And this one's right over here on this last side, okay? And all you're gonna do is fold that over. And I like to burnish things down, especially with this kind of tape. So I'm gonna burnish it. And that is the basic construction of the folder itself. If I turn it this way, you're gonna kind of give it some bends. I haven't actually folded this one yet. Remember, we scored it, but we didn't actually fold it. So there's that. And this side comes up and over. If we fold it on the score marks. So it's really, really cute. I mean, this is awesome just to do anything with. And then you're gonna do this. And right here, we're gonna have a Velcro closure and all that good stuff. So let me put this to the side, and then we'll get started with our embellishments, the next segment. Okay, so to make the embellishments, I'm just going to open this up. This pack came with the kit, and I'm telling you, they package everything so nicely. Cute little company, I'm telling you. When I go to their booth, it's crazy. All the stuff I want to buy, but then don't because, ooh, it's a lot of money. But they sell Copic markers and all kinds of stuff like that. And another thing they're famous for, this Crazy Creations, is putting out these little tin metal sheets, and then you run it through your Cuttlebug or whatever you have, and then you can also cut them out with your Cricut. Well, you Cricut too because they're very thin, but with your dies. So that's what they did here, and they include these, and they're gorgeous. I love it. So I'm gonna open these up and kind of sort them out. These are the other things that go inside the book. You're gonna need this for your flowers. The Velcro is for the book itself. I'm just gonna separate these things out to make sure I have everything the right way. And basically we're making these big paper clips is what we're doing. So I'm gonna put these over here. So cute, those are huge. With all the little flower pieces. So I just wanna make sure what's going on here. Okay. So let me read the instructions just for another second or so I can kind of get my bearing with what I'm supposed to do with all these pieces, and then so it kind of made some sense of it, I hope. So these, I think what they do is they keep they didn't really explain that very well, but they keep the paper clips like this, and then the little flower goes on top so the back of the paper clip doesn't look all ugly and tacky or whatever. So I'm gonna put this to the side. To make the actual flowers, you're gonna take, now they've punched 2 of the same pattern paper, this blue paper, of just, you know, your regular little flower. This is, looks like it got punched, but it's about a 2-inch flower, okay? And they're using 3 of the same thing, okay? And this one's punched from the file folder, from what was cut off on the edge. So here you go. So they punched all these different things out of there, okay? So what we're gonna do, it says use a fast drying glue or a dry glue, but the first flower is going to be dotted side down. So I'm gonna use just a blue. And then the next one, the dotted side is gonna be up. Okay. And then we're gonna attach this one here, wherever you like, over that other one. So I'm kind of scalping them, but then the thing is it's gonna kind of cover each other up anyway, so I'm gonna put that one so it makes more like a circle, so you can see the whole flower. So now you have 3 layers there. And I'm gonna put this to the side to let it dry. And on the second one, again, the blue side up. So they punched 6 of these little flowers. The dotted side up this time, and I'm just turning it so that they're kind of offset. And the third one is going to be just a circle, okay? It's not a little flower, it's just a maybe 1.5 inch circle. And it's going to go right there. And you just place that down. I kind of like the little flower better, but the second flower that they cut is for the front of the book, so we're going to save that for later. And I'm just going to kind of give this a second to dry. And then what we're going to do is grab this green tool that came in the kit. And they say to cut it in thirds, okay? It's green. If you can see, if I bunch it up, you can see it's a very fine tool, and it's green. So I'm going to kind of layer it together like this so I can cut it easier. And I'm just going to cut into it, and it said to cut it in thirds. I believe I only need 3 pieces, I hope. I don't want to mess this up and then need more for the front. I do need some for the front, but you want some for the flowers. So let's say there, there. And this last piece is going to be from the front of the book. So I'm going to put that aside with the other flowers so I don't misplace anything. And it says just to bunch it up. So it's kind of cute. And I don't know if I should bunch it. I guess this way. That's okay. And then you're going to pretty much staple it right in here. So staple a third each of green tulle after twisting or bunching. I'm going to twist it a little bit too, just to get a little bit smaller. You're supposed to kind of punch it right in here, or staple it there. And I'm going to grab my Tim Holtz mini stapler. It's very small, and just staple that down. Hopefully it doesn't open up. Yeah, that's good. And then I'll take the other one and do the same thing. Kind of give it a little bit of a twist and bunch, because I think it ended up too big. I guess you can cut it down if you wanted. And these are just going to make paper clips. You don't have to do this at all if you don't want to. Or if you want to make smaller paper clips, just make smaller flowers, okay? So now what we're going to do is take these flowers. You want to hear the green metal flower with a pop-up, or with your, any kind of dimensional sticky back. Dimensional... Okay, so then what you're going to do is get your little flowers, the green metal flowers or whatever you're going to be using, and it says to attach it with a sticky dot or something. I have these glue dots right here. They're kind of small, so I'll probably do a couple. But before you do that, you can give them a little dimension if you want to bend them a little bit. And I was looking for my, I should probably just use a nail file. If you file on these, the dimension will come out and look really, really nice. So what I'm going to do is, I guess I'm going to go ahead and attach it for now. But if I had my file, if I could find it, I would file that first and then attach it, okay? But we're going to use some glue dots, and I just like to press whatever item against the glue dot itself. And that's what I'm saying, this is metal, so it's kind of slippery. So I'm gonna do a few, okay? Just to make sure it stays down real well. Okay? And you can attach that. Oh, I want more in the middle. To your little lollipop. And another one over here for this other one. Just grab a few of those, make sure they stay down. Oops. Okay. And that's the other thing that's really cool about these metal sheets. And you can find them online nowadays, but from this company they obviously like to sell them. That's what they do. And now I'm going to take a couple of the little pearls, and they already have adhesive on the back of them. Oops. And put them right in the middle of the flower. And if you don't think this is going to stay because of the adhesive that's on there, then you can put your own glue. Okay? You don't have to just stick with the glue that's on the flower there. So that's basically a little paper clip. And if you don't like how big these are, you can trim it down too, okay? Do whatever you like. And I'm going to find some dimensional squares, and I'm going to attach the flowers to the clips with those, okay? So what you want to do is place the little adhesive dot so that it kind of rests. If it's too big, like this one's a little bit bigger than I would like, that's okay. Just, you can cut it down if you didn't want to, but it's really holding it in place. So I like that, that's good. These are just from Scrapbook Adhesives. I got this at, Michael's. And I'll place them both the same way. One of them really has a lot of that, those little marks in it, and the other one doesn't, so I don't know what's up with that, but there you go. And I'm trying to put them so that they're about the same. And we're going to take the back of the sticky tape off. I already did that one. And you're going to take your flower, take one of them, and just place it right in the center. And next, if you want to look at it from the back, you can do that better. Oh. Those little sticky adhesives are really, really good. Like that thing already stuck down. I wasn't even pushing down. Again, I'm going to turn this over and line that up. And I have these cute, pretty much decorative paper clips. To me, I don't know if I would use them, and they're huge, but how cute are those? Oh my goodness. Cute. So I'll put those aside, because we're going to put those on the inside of the book. And it says the next thing to do is to get the piece of ribbon that was in here. It came with this piece of ribbon, and it's about 3 inches long. It's grosgrain ribbon. I can tell it's nice and thick. And you're going to open the book all the way to the back. And it says just use a wet glue, and I'm going to use my liquid glass and just put some down about where the pen would go. Right about in there. It says apply it liberally, glue it to about 1/3 of the ribbon. So that's about right, that's okay. I'm gonna hold that down so the glue's kind of seeping through. And this is wrap the ribbon around the pen and line up the ends and press the ribbon together while wrapped around the pen. Where did I put that pen? There it is. And pin together until it dries. I'm not having a pin with me, so anyway, so it's a pen. And they cut it so it's like perfectly sized. That's crazy. They're like, oh, no more, no less. So I've wrapped it around the barrel of the pen, not the lid here. That way it kind of has something to hook onto. So I'm gonna glue it down right about there. Okay, so I'm gonna put some more glue down. And it says to pin it, like I said, to pin it until it's dry, but I'm not gonna be able to do that because I didn't bring anything out like that. And I'm not even sure where you're supposed to pin it to. That makes no sense, but I'm gonna keep that nice and taut. And I'm just gonna hold this down until it dries enough for me to let it go, okay? So I'm just gonna hold it for a few seconds. Real quick. And this is your project or my project. I can do whatever I like. This is an extra piece of paper that came off of the folder that I had cut. And I'm just gonna put that here because I don't really like that piece just kind of hanging there. So I'm gonna hold this down until it dries, and then I'm just gonna close the book, and we should be fine. I don't know, just that piece of ribbon hanging there. That's how they show it, but I don't care for that look. So I'm gonna hold this down. It says it should be tight enough the pen to keep the pen in place, but not so tight that the pen will not come out, or that the tablet won't just close down. And then it says when it's dry, glue the ribbon holder to inside back of tablet. Oh, I see. You're supposed to just fold over the thing itself, not stick it down, but I stuck it down here. What's the difference? I mean, really. And then you want to slide only the chipboard backing into the folder. So I'm gonna let this go. It's pretty dry, and I'm just gonna let it dry on its own for a few minutes, and I'll show you how to put this into your further. Actually, I'm gonna take this pen out. I noticed that they came with this piece of paper, the blue dots and the blue on the other side, and it doesn't say to do anything with it, but as I'm looking at the picture, it looks like they wrapped that blue paper around the notepad just to make it look prettier. It doesn't say anything in here about that, so what I'm gonna do is go ahead and I'm gonna use my ATG because that'll be faster. But also this piece of blue paper is a little bigger than you need, so if you can see, if I stick it down here, it's sticking out the edge. So I'm gonna measure this. This notepad is 5 inches wide, so I'm gonna cut my paper at 5 inches, and then we'll stick it down, okay? Side up. So I'm just gonna put ATG all along the very edge. Just the edge for right now, because I'm gonna stick that down on the pad here, just covering right up to the edge. And I'm gonna really, I don't know where I put my bone fold, so I use my scissors here. Really burnish that down. And what I'm gonna do is turn my pad over and force it upwards, okay? Up towards the other side here. And then I'll put some more ATG on this back side and all the way to the edge again. And then just flap it. Let it fall down on itself. Okay, so that is a really cute touch. I'm not sure why they didn't include it in the instructions, but there it is. So now what I'm going to do is take the pad, or the organizer itself, bring that back out. I'm so sorry with all this lightning, and it's just a dark day out here. And what we're going to do is put just the chipboard part of the pad into the pocket here, okay? So hopefully this works. It's very, very snug. Apparently this thing is wider than it should have been, so I'm just going to stick it down in here, but that's okay. Let me open this up and help a little bit with that. Okay, I should have done this before I showed you guys. So basically, the way they did it, this is too tight. They're crazy. They put the numbers wrong. So basically when you're scoring, this shouldn't have been scored right in here. It needs to be over a ½ inch, okay? So since I already scored it and I messed that up, I don't want you guys to, you know, obviously that's how it is. That's the score line that comes in the folder, okay? That folder line, remember, and they said to score it ½ inch over? Well, apparently the 1/2 inch over is what holds it here, and then you still need another 1/2 inch over. So when you go to do this, I hope, well, it depends on your notepad too, so that's the thing, it depends on the size of your notepad. This notepad's 5 inches wide, so you need to score at 5 inches from this fold line here, where you're cut, score at 5 inches, and then also score at 5.5 inches over, okay? So I hope that makes sense. I'm sorry, if I had made these instructions, I would have made them better. Like I said, they're forgetting a lot of stuff on here. So what I'm gonna do is line this up, and I'm gonna score 1/2 inch over from that last score mark that's there. Okay, I know it's not gonna be perfect, and it's gonna mess up the front of the cover just a little bit. It's gonna make it a little bit different looking, but that's okay. So what I'm gonna do is, that's gonna be the new score marked. This one is gonna have an ugly line right here, but that's basically where the folder folds. So their measurements are off somewhere, I'm not sure where, but anyhow. And of course you use that double sticky tape, so it's really, really sticky, good stuff, but I don't want that sticking down right now. So I'm gonna pick that up. It's like totally ripping this folder. I'm sorry, I wish I had made the instructions, but I didn't. These people did, and they're not quite right. So now what I'm gonna do is go ahead and put it in and use that new folded line as the new mark, okay? Sorry about that, but like I said, if I had made these instructions, I would have made them clearer and accurate. But there it is with the new fold marks, and it still closes and everything's fine. It's just, it has to be as wide as your pad, plus, you know, the 1/2 inch marks on either side, okay? And this one actually has to be as wide as your pad, and then another like about 1/2 inch for the pen, okay? So it's fine, it works now, but they didn't put the measurements correct to begin with, so that's kind of unfortunate, but that's okay. Sorry about it. So hopefully you guys are following along with this and not so much, you know, I don't know what they were doing. Anyway, okay, so now what you want to do is stick down your notepads and your, and I'm pretty sure it's not me, I'm thinking it's the company, but who knows. I guess we all have our little ideas. And then your little tags. The only thing is, like I said, since their numbers were off, it's because of the length of the board here. This isn't going to fit in here. So I'm not going to include those, okay? Just that easy. You don't want the fuss with it. And, oh, ow. Or you can cut them in half and just use 1/2 of these. I mean, obviously you don't have the kit, so it doesn't matter if you have notepads, just use your sticky pad and that's it. But, it says to put lots of tape liberally across the back and everywhere. And I'm just going to put it kind of towards the middle since I'm not putting anything else here. And then you include your clips. You can put your clips down in here. That is super cute. I mean, it's really cute. It's a cute organizer. It's just, I don't know what they were thinking. It's kind of lame. Okay, so for the outside, we just have to do a couple more things. So they had punched a scallop circle with the little butterfly, and it says to ink it if you like. I'm just going to use this Lagoon ink from Close to My Heart, and I'm just going to rub it around the edges to put a little more color. I'm probably going to redo this tutorial, guys, in my own numbers, my own pads that I'll go buy like at Walmart, and that way you guys have a better idea how this is supposed to work. And then you can put a dimensional adhesive, or a couple, I guess, since you don't want it to fall off or have any problem there. And take the sticky off the back. We're almost done. All we have to do is one more flower, and that's going to be our closure. And you can put this wherever you like, but this is like down here, so that's just to be cute. It serves no purpose. And then we're going to make one more flower for our closure, to go like where your closure is. It's not a big deal. So it says to take these flowers here and use them like that. So it says to take the heaviest flower, which in this case is the this one here, and then there put this cream scallop on top of it. So here's, oops, and it says punch from yellow cardstock, and there is not a flower punch from yellow cardstock. So this is basically it. I'm not sure what they were talking about. Oh goodness, let me open. Sorry about that. Of course my glue always wants to give me, it's because I left it sitting open. Okay, so you take that, you're gonna put this guy over this guy, and then let that dry. It's getting kind of wobbly for me. Let's see. Flower can sit on top of a large green punch flower, and then cream scallop on top. Middle flower and punch a hole in the center. Okay, so then this guy's gonna go on top of here. And then it wants you to punch a hole in the center, so I'm gonna have to do that with my Crocodile, of course. So I'm gonna let this dry, and once it's dry, I'll take out my Crocodile and I'll punch a hole in the center because you're gonna put your brad in. So on the outside, they're gonna use a brad, okay? And then on top of the brad, you can put a little pearl if you would like. So I'm gonna let that dry, and then these instructions are crazy. You're not supposed to actually adhere these two together. So let me take that off, that's fine. But what you do wanna do is adhere the bottom two. This one, you're gonna punch your 3/16 hole right through the middle, or close enough. Punch it through these guys. Ooh, I can't really tell what the middle is. And then you're gonna take this brad. I'm telling you, these people, and this is a big like office brad, regular old brad. And it says to take these, your tool that's left, remember, from the other two flowers. And you kind of open these up and stick it in there, in between the two prongs. Okay, so it's just gonna kind of hold it. And then you're gonna close up the prongs a little bit and put it through the next two. So that's a really cute idea. Just, you know, not well written at all. Okay, so there's the flower for the outside. For our, the outside closure. And then, to make the clasp flower, so that's what this is. If desired, you may sand, blah, blah, blah. You know, the green metal just to make it look nicer. Apply double-sided sticky Velcro dots to underneath side of right flap. Put the dots together before applying and fold over, and then you put your little flower over the top. So basically, let's bring this back out. We're gonna get our Velcro. It's just a Velcro dot. I'm gonna take off one side and kind of apply it to the middle wherever you'd like. It's gonna go right there. So I'm gonna really just kind of press it down, take the backing off. I'm sorry, this project was kind of loopy at the end there. And line it up nicely, oop, before you start sticking it down. Right there. And then I'm gonna adhere this. This is probably not the best way to adhere it, but I'm just gonna put a bunch of liquid glass on it and let that dry. And I mean a lot. I'll show it to you in a second. I put quite a bit on there. And just kind of put it where the clasp goes. And just kind of hold it down. Okay, so I'm gonna probably let this sit on it to weigh it down. And that's it. So I'll have some still pictures for you. Once that's done and dry, I'm gonna go ahead and stick that last pearl on top of the, this one, on top of the brad, okay? And I'll have pictures for you. So thanks for watching. Like I said, I'll probably come up with my own better instructions, and then we'll do another tutorial then.